Everyone is chasing happiness, yet almost no one feels at peace. People run after pleasure, comfort, success, admiration, and validation, believing that happiness waits at the end of effort. But the harder they chase it, the more it slips away. This is not a modern problem. It is an ancient misunderstanding. The Stoics recognized early that happiness, when treated as a goal, becomes unstable. The moment your happiness depends on outcomes, people, money, or circumstances, you surrender control over your inner life. You become vulnerable to disappointment, fear, and anxiety. Stoicism does not reject joy. It rejects dependence. Stoic philosophy begins with a radical shift. The purpose of life is not to feel good, but to live well. And living well means aligning your thoughts, actions, and character with reason and virtue, regardless of external conditions. When this alignment is achieved, a quiet form of contentment follows, not because you chased it, but because it emerged naturally. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that pleasure and pain are unreliable guides. As emperor, he had access to power and luxury, yet he trained his mind to remain indifferent to both praise and pleasure. Seneca warned that those who chase pleasure become its servants, constantly anxious about losing what they temporarily possess. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you stop attaching your inner state to external rewards. In modern life, happiness is marketed as something to acquire. A better job, more money, the right relationship, social approval. But notice the pattern. Each achievement brings a brief high, followed by restlessness. The mind immediately looks for the next source of stimulation. This cycle creates exhaustion, not fulfillment. Stoicism interrupts this cycle by asking a different question. Instead of "what will make me happy?" the Stoic asks, "what is the right thing to do?" Instead of "how can I feel better?" the Stoic asks, "how can I act with excellence?" This shift removes emotional volatility. Your sense of worth no longer rises and falls with circumstances. When life becomes difficult, and it always does, the happiness chaser collapses. But the Stoic remains steady. Loss, failure, rejection, and discomfort are no longer personal insults. They are expected features of existence. When you expect difficulty, you are not shocked by it. When you accept impermanence, you are not devastated by change. This does not make life dull or cold. On the contrary, it deepens appreciation. When pleasure is no longer demanded, it becomes a gift rather than a requirement. When success is no longer tied to self-worth, effort becomes cleaner and more focused. When happiness is not chased, peace becomes possible. The mental shift required is subtle but powerful. Stop asking whether something will make you happy. Ask whether it will make you stronger, wiser, calmer, or more disciplined. Ask whether it aligns with your values rather than your impulses. The Stoic mind prioritizes stability over stimulation. A simple daily practice reinforces this perspective. At the end of each day, review your actions rather than your feelings. Ask yourself whether you acted with patience, honesty, restraint, and courage. Measure the day by character, not comfort. Over time, this practice retrains the mind to find satisfaction in self-mastery rather than external rewards. In a world obsessed with feeling good, Stoicism offers something far more durable: inner steadiness. You may still experience joy, pleasure, and happiness, but they will no longer control you. They will come and go without disturbing your balance. The Stoic does not chase happiness. He builds a life where peace is possible regardless of circumstances. And that is why he lives better than most.